The NCCAA mission states, "We serve members by setting association standards, developing communications resources, providing regional and national competition, and partnering in outreach to our communities and the world." Bylaws, eligibility, statistics, and championships are all part of being an athletic association. Our services help propel intercollegiate athletics on and off campus. We intentionally place our student athletes and coaches in Christian service projects during championship events to answer the question, what would Christ do in these communities?
Wake up and focus. I wonder if you ever considered that you only have one life to live. I wonder if you have the courage to be exactly who you were called to be. I wonder if you understand that you can do anything if only you believe it. I wonder if anyone told you that you can be a leader, a trendsetter, the innovator of that brand new whatever that's not here yet, but that's only because you didn't introduce it yet. I wonder if you realize that your life's purpose is bigger than you and that it's ready to be awakened and make its mark in history. Are you awake yet? But what if there's a place for you? A place where you can dream higher, dream bigger, where your dreams and your future collide with God's vision and direction, where thinking and doing go hand in hand with innovation, where professors are more like mentors and guides, where generosity is contagious. And if you catch it, you might just change the world, y'all. There is a place where real faith-filled community allows you to know and be fully known, where faith is filled to the brim, so full it can wash away your doubts, where servant leaders of the next generation are grown, where your story can be written and change the course of history. In that place, Southern Wesleyan University. So it's time to wake up. You only have one life to live, because this is not a drill. This is not about cliches, shallow taglines, or some inspirational quote for you to tweet, snap, pin, or post. No, this is where snooze buttons are frozen, alarm clocks are broken, where feet hit the floor because dreams are now woken. This is it. Awaken your dreams. Awaken your soul. Awaken your purpose. This, Southern Wesleyan University.
When we travel, we expect to be uncomfortable. We long for the security and the comfort of home. But here at Best Western, we focus on providing you with the most ample accommodations imaginable. We want to be your home away from home. Your security and comfort when the road is long. We want to gather and build friendships and families, strengthen community, and sustain athleticism. Here, we celebrate fun, hard work, and enjoy the wonderful world around us. Here, we want your downtime to be just as amazing as your game time. And finally, when it's time to leave, we hope you'll want to stay.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal. Knows just how you like your tea, always has a refill ready, and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Welcome to historic Tysinger in today's contest between the visiting Mount Olive University Trojans and your own Southern Wesleyan University Warriors. Trojans come into tonight's contest with a 1-9 conference record, 5-13 overall. Warriors at 0-11 in conference and 2-20 overall. Southern Wesleyan wearing the silver tops and Mount Olive in all black. If you're just able to listen to us, Southern Wesleyan will be going in towards campus and Mount Olive out towards the apartments. We're ready here to begin in set one of this Conference Carolinas matchup. It's going to be number 6. Yeo is going to start it off for the Trojans. Johnson sheets to Bass, who gets just underneath it now and floats long. Point number 1 goes to the Trojans. Service received by the Warriors. This side on the attack. Johnson goes up and over the block. The Trojans are there. Our side now on the attack. That one's long, so we're even at 1. Souls in for Holford. Souls will have service for your Warriors. Receive back row. Far side now bumped in. Deep attack. Hits the net. Souls is there. Sheets this side to Johnson. Johnson puts it over. Dug out. Back row. Far side on the attack. Blocked back over. Trojans with control. They knock it back over to the Warriors. Here comes Sheets. She just goes back over to the Trojans. Far side on the attack. Rolls across the net and down. Point Trojans. Service now for King. Sheets here to Johnson. Johnson with the right hand swing down the left line. Good for the point. Stone in for Bass. Service now by Martin. Received back row. Middle set, our side on the attack. Blocked and back over by Johnson and the Warriors. Middle attack comes straight down. Point Trojans, and that's Jackson, the 6-foot freshman out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Number 8 in, Cribb. Service now for the Trojans. Battle at the net. Won by the Warriors as Sheets able to get a right hand on it. And the point. Johnson now ready for service. Receive back row, middle set, far side on the attack. Dug out there by Souls. Sheets bumps it here to Johnson. Johnson goes right hand deep. Dug out, back row, far side on the attack come the Trojans. Martin digs it out. Souls now just pops it over deep as well. Middle set, far side attack come the Trojans, and off the block and down, point Trojans. 4-3 in favor of UMO. Goodman now ready for service. Souls to Sheets to Johnson, and it's at the net, off the block and down, point Warriors. Holford back in for Souls. 4-4 here in set one here in historic Tysinger on the campus of Southern Wesleyan University. Sheets with service to receive deep. Our side on the attack come the Trojans, off the block and down for the point.
Surgeon now. Back row received. Far run for Sheets. Vonins dumps it over. Here come the Trojans now. Far side on the attack. Blocked and down by Southern Wesleyan. That's Stone and Holford on the block and the point for the Warriors, and it's tied at 5. Bass back in for the Warriors. Stone now ready for service. And that one floats long, so point back to the Trojans. Martin in, Stone out. Service now. DeVal. Service is up and over. Martin. Sheet inside to Holford. Touches it up and over. Battle at the net. Won by Bass and the Warriors. And we're tied at 6. Service by Vonins, up and over, middle set, middle attack, and that one's down right in the center of the Warrior defense. Point Trojans. 6-23 back in for Mount Olive. 7-6 Trojans lead here early in set 1. Our side on the attack is Johnson, right hand swinging, and no touch called there. It looked like it hit the net and then rolled out of play, so that's going to be off the Warriors. Point Trojans. Largest lead of the first set at 8-6. Back set to Holford, and that's going to get down for the point. Holford out, Souls in. Warriors down 1 here in set 1. Souls with service. It's received back row, but an error back there gives the point to the Warriors. And we're tied up again at 8. Service received back row, middle set, middle attack. Double touch called against the Trojans. So the Warriors come back to take the lead at 9-8. Dugout back row, tough run on the setter, and that one's going to get the left corner. Point Trojans as they stop the bleeding and tie it up at 9. Martin dumped over by Sheets. Here come the Trojans now, our side on the attack. Blocked and down, point for the Warriors. That's Bass and Johnson. Double teaming on the block. Warriors up 1 at 10-9. Stone and Vonins in. Martin with service, received back row, bumped ahead. Deep attack comes. Vonins digs that one out. Now here comes Souls on the deep attack. Controlled here by the Trojans. There's a battle at the net and won by the Trojans. (10-10) now here, set 1. Third one's up and over for the Warriors, and now the Trojans see if they can take advantage of this. It's blocked back in, and again the Warriors, that time Stone, able to put it back and down for the point. Warriors have got their defense and the block game going early here in set 1. 11-10 is the lead for the Warriors. Here come the Trojans now, far side on the attack. Blocked again and down, and that's Stone and Sheets. And the Warriors take their largest lead at 12-10. Here come the Trojans now. Middle attack comes. Dug out by Johnson. Stone sets up Bonins. Bonins goes left corner. The Trojans are there, and they come this side now on the attack. Up and over the block. Sheets now sets it up for Bonins. Bonins rolls it over their block. Trojans now our side on the attack. Knocked up and over the block to Sheets, and Sheets tries to go early on it, and into the net. Point, Trojans. Goodman now in for the Trojans with service. Souls, Sheets to Stone. And that one's off the ceiling and down. Tysinger point. And the Warriors push it back out to a 2-point lead at 13-11. Holford back in for Souls. Darby Sheets now with service. Middle set, far side on the attack, cut across to Johnson, and the Warriors are in the net, so point goes to the Trojans. Each team has had a lead of 2. That's the largest of set 1. It's a 1-point lead for the Warriors. 13-12, service by the Trojans, received by Bonins. Middle set, middle attack, Stone knocks it over, dug out there. The third one's got to get up and over, and it does. Here come the Warriors now on the attack. Sheets back set to Holford. Holford cuts it to the left side. Battle at the net. Won by Stone. And the Warriors. Stone just did damage to the helmet at center court. 14-12. Warriors lead set 1. Knocked across to the Warriors. Sheets, Johnson, far side now to Holford. That one's down as it rolls across the net to the floor. And the Warriors now with their largest lead at 15-12. Service error gives the point back to the Trojans. Jump serve comes from the Trojan. Bonins to Sheets, middle to Holford. Holford finds it and finds the left corner. Point Warriors. (16-13) with service from Bonins. That one's deep. Point Trojans. Yao back in here for the Trojans, ready for service. The sophomore out of Plainfield, Illinois, serves it in front of the Warriors bench. Sheets comes this side to Johnson. Johnson finds the hole in the defense. Point Warriors. The Warriors are free swinging this afternoon and push it back out to a 3-point lead. 17-14 as Souls in for service. Serve up and over. Here come the Trojans. Middle attack. Straight down. Point. Trojans. Alyssa Jackson, the freshman. Delivers there for Mount Olive. Keene now with service. Martin to Sheets. This side to Johnson. Right hand. Spins it up and over and down. Point for Johnson and your Warriors. 18-15 is Bass out. Stone back in for the Warriors. Martin will serve for Southern Wesleyan, up 3 here in set 1. Receive back row, middle set, middle attack comes. Blocked again by Stone and Johnson. Point Warriors. Largest lead of 4 here late in set 1. That one's touched off the Warriors, so point Trojans. Get it back to 3. Cribb in. Del Valle out. Service now by Jackson. Short serve there, dug out by the Warriors, and then a winner there by the Trojans. So back within 2, that's going to get a timeout called by head coach Julia Reinigan, the Warriors. It's 19-17 in favor of Southern Wesleyan. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend, one who believes that good times call for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Back to action here in historic Tysinger, where your Warriors lead 19-17 in set 1. Trojans with service out of the timeout called by Southern Wesleyan. Short serve again to Vonens. Sheets on the run. Johnson with the deep attack. Dug out there by Vonens. Johnson knocks it back in. Stone knocks it across. Here come the Trojans now. Middle set, middle attack. It's up and over the block, and Vonens can't get there in time. So point Trojans. And they're within 1 here late in set 1. Trojans continue with service, this time deep to Vonens. Long run for Sheets. Vonens just going to have to get it over. She does. Here come the Trojans now to take advantage of it again. Pop back over. Martin's there. Sheets now this side to Johnson. Johnson finds the middle back row. Point Warriors. 20-18 in favor of the Warriors here in set 1. Trojans now deep on the attack. That's 23 who pops it over. Here comes Sheets now. Sets here at our side. Vonens finds the same spot. Back-to-back points in the same spot for the Warriors. And it's back out to a 3-point lead. Johnson was service. That's long, point Trojans. And 21 will be in for service. That's Madison Goodman, 5'4" freshman out of Hawaii. Serves it over to Souls. There's going to be a battle at the net. Knocked back over the Trojans. Back to the Warriors. Sheets now is going to take advantage of this with Stone. Stone just is able to pop it over. Here comes the attack from the Trojans' far side. Off the Warriors and down. Point Trojans. Souls. Sheets. To Stone, that's long, and we're tied up at 21 here in set 1. Martin to Johnson. Johnson able to get one there for the Warriors. Needed that one bad after the Trojans had come back from 3 down. And the Warriors up 1 at 22-21 and see if they can carry the mojo through in set 1. Sheets with service left side. The third one does get up and over. Here come the Warriors now. Our side on the attack. Vonens goes left corner. Dug out there by the Trojans. Third one's up and over. And the Warriors just able to get there. Vonen's not able to get it across. So it's point Trojans. And we're tied at 22. All here in set one. Historic Tysinger. Long run for Sheets. Holford goes up and over. Trojans are there, and here they come now on the attack far side. Dug out there by Johnson. Back row. Sheets to Martin. Martin knocks it over. Here come the Trojans again, and that's got to be a double touch. And it is. And the Warriors earn the point. They're now up 23-22. Stone with service ace. 24-22 as that one had a right to left hook on it. It lands just inside of the spectators here in historic Tysinger. Service there. Trojans now our side on the attack. Blocked over and down, and the Warriors take set one, 25-22. We'll be back for set two. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
When we travel, we expect to be uncomfortable. We long for the security and the comfort of home. But here at Best Western, we focus on providing you with the most ample accommodations imaginable. We want to be your home away from home. Your security and comfort when the road is long. We want to gather and build friendships and families, strengthen community, and sustain athleticism. Here, we celebrate fun, hard work, and enjoy the wonderful world around us. Here, we want your downtime to be just as amazing as your game time. And finally, when it's time to leave, we hope you'll want to stay.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal. Knows just how you like your tea, always has a refill ready, and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Back to historic Tysinger where the Warriors lead the visiting Trojans of the University of Mount Olive 1-0 here after one, winning 25-22. Possibly playing the best first set of their season right here in historic Tysinger. And we're just getting our lineup straight here for set number two. Trojans have got 14, 12, 11, 2, 21, and 5. Your Warriors will have Vonins, Martin, Sheets, Johnson, Holford, and Bass here. And Vonins will begin with service. So the Warriors with the lead here in Conference Carolinas match up against the Trojans. And here come the Trojans far side on the attack. Dug out back row by Martin. Vonins tries to get a hand on it as she goes into the seats. And that's going to be a point Trojans here early in set 2. Service error by the Trojans gives a point back to Southern Wesleyan, and we start set 2 exactly like we started set 1. Holford out. Souls in and readies for service. Up and over received. Back row. Long run for the setter. Attack is blocked and down. And that time it's Sheets and Bass. The point for the Warriors. Definitely one of the best blocking performances even early here into set 2 for the Warriors. And that one just falls off the net to the Warriors' side, so point Trojans even up at 2. Number 11 now is service. Jackson, the 6-footer, knocks it over to Souls. Sheets back to Vonins. Vonins goes deep on it. And it's going to be called against the Warriors. And so it's long out of play as well as an illegal attack there by the Warriors. So point Trojans. (3-2) now in favor of Mount Olive. Souls, Sheets, middle to Bass. Bass pushes it across, and it's down. Point for Bass and the Warriors. Stone in, Bass out. Martin now readies for service. Jump serves across, dug out back row. Middle set, our side on the attack, and that's pushed across well there by number 23, who had to come across her body with the right hand and was able to push it across and down for the point. And the Trojans take the lead 4-3. Also just been notified we've been having struggles with the live stats, so we'll be tweeting and social media updates as much as possible. That one's not going to get over, so that's a point for the Warriors, tied up at 4 now here in set 2. So now Olivia Johnson readies for service for the Warriors. We're tied at 4. Warriors lead 1-0 in the match. Here come the Trojans now, middle on the attack, dug out by Johnson. Long run there by Souls. Longer run now by Johnson. And the point goes to the Trojans. Neither team can get traction here in set 2. Sargent now, also from Hawaii with service to Johnson to Sheets. Johnson just pops it over. Here come the Trojans. And tried to get through traffic, and it's blocked by Stone again. Point Warriors. A lot of traffic there for the Trojan setter. Not able to get through it, and that was what caused the point there for the Warriors. That service is long. Point Trojan. 11 in for 23. Service is up and over. Johnson, Sheets, far side, Vonins, and it's behind the pin, so point for the Trojans. 7-5 now. Trojans with the largest lead of the second set. Jump serve is up and over. It's excellent. Johnson digs it out. Stone knocks it over. Here come the Trojans now on the attack, looking to go up 3. That one's dug out by Johnson. Stone pops it over. Here come the Trojans again. Our side on the attack. They find the left corner, down and good for the Trojans. 8-5 the lead here in the second set for University of Mount Olive, who has the mojo going now. Jump serve is wide in front of the spectator side. Bass in, Martin out, and Sarah Stone now ready for service. The senior out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Has a service error. So point back to the Trojans. Goodman now ready for service. Johnson, Sheets, far side to Bass. And there's a touch call against Mount Olive there. So point given to the Warriors. Deep serve there, dug out by the Trojans. Our side on the attack. They go far side. It ricochets all around and down. Point Trojans. Had a chance to play that one off the roof, off the backboard, but too much ricocheting leads to a point for the Trojans. 10-7, the lead for Mount Olive here in set 2. Dug out there by Martin. Sheets goes far side to Johnson. Johnson knocks it over, dug out by the Trojans. And that's going to be double touch there against the Trojans here. And the point to the Warriors. Battle at the net, won by the Warriors and Amber Bass. And we're within one at 10-9. Souls will service. Dug out back row. Middle set, middle attack. Souls tries to dig it out. Bass does. Sheets able to get it across. Middle set, middle attack again. Dug out by Martin. Johnson tries to deliver, and that one's wide. Valiant effort by the Warriors, but point to the Trojans. And the Trojans up 2 at 11-9. Martin steps in there. We'll go to Bass on the attack. Dug out there by the Trojans. Far side on the attack comes Mount Olive. And that one's deep. And it's called touch against the Warriors. And now I have a discussion with the up ref. And we're going to give the point to Mount Olive here. So it's 12-9 here in set 2. Far side now for Johnson. Knocked back over to the Warriors, and Sheets goes back over to Johnson. She goes left hand this time, blocked back to the Warriors. Martin again to Johnson. Johnson rolls it this time and down. Point for Southern Wesleyan as Johnson gives 3 jumps there. And finally is able to finish one off, getting the Warriors within 2 here in set 2. Martin tapes it and rolls it over and down. So now within 1. And right now, after the call, that didn't go the Warriors' way. We get back-to-back points, advantageous points. Here come the Trojans, our side on the attack, and it's down, point Trojans. So that's number 23 with the point for the Trojans. Pushes them back to be 2 up. Bonins, Sheets, comes our side to Johnson with the left hand. Third one has to get up and over, and it cannot. And the Trojans able to push it out to their largest lead of 3 once again. Souls, Sheets, Stone, and it's down, point for the Warriors. Johnson, as deep as she can be here in historic Tysinger now, pops it across. Here come the Trojans, middle set, middle attack comes, straight down, right on the line here in front of us. Point Trojans. Johnson, the Sheets to Stone, finds the hole in the defense, point Warriors. Service by Sheets, receive back row, middle set, our side on the attack. Dug out there by Martin, long run for Sheets. She goes to Bonin's far side. Dug out back row, middle set, our side popped over, all the way back to the left side. Sheets to Johnson, Johnson over to the Trojans, and here they come, our side on the attack. To Martin again, Sheets pops it over to the Trojans. The Trojans middle attack, blocked over by Stone. Back to Martin, to Sheets, to Holford. Dug out back row by the Trojans, our side on the attack. Cut all the way across. Holford, battle at the net, won by the Trojans. Number 23 able to put it away, but quite a point by both teams. (16-13) in favor of Mount Olive here in set 2, trailing in the match. Service error gives the point back to the Warriors. Bass in. Martin out. Stone readies for service for Southern Wesleyan. Trojans, middle on the attack. Roll one up and over, and it's going to hit the floor and down. Point for the Trojans. 21-12 in for Mount Olive. 6-22 out. Back to a 3-point lead for Mount Olive. Martin to Sheets to Johnson. Johnson to the Trojans. Controlled there by the Warriors. Sheets now goes back to Johnson, right hand swinging. That one's dug out there on the powerful swing by Johnson. Third one does not make it over by the Trojans, so point Warriors. The Warriors really feeding Olivia Johnson right now. Johnson's a junior, 5'9", out of Anderson, South Carolina. Middle set, middle attack comes off the block and down, point Trojans. Back to a 3-point lead. Warriors just can't get over the hump. They get it within 2, and the Trojans continue to push it back to 3. Martin to Sheets to Holford. And that one's into the net. Point Trojans. Timeout called by the Warriors and head coach Julia Reiniger. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network. Out of the timeout, your Warriors trail the Trojans by 4. Johnson, the Sheets to Johnson, blocked by the Trojans and down, point Mount Olive. Largest lead of the set for the Trojans. And a little miscue there by the Warriors. Really pushes the lead out now to 6. And that's going to have another timeout by the Warriors. 21-15 in favor of the Trojans. We'll take a timeout. You listen to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network. So that's the Warriors' last time out here as they trail by 6 at 21-15. The Trojans with service. Warriors up 1-0 in the match. Trojans looking to tie it up. Martin to Sheets to Bass right here in the center. She goes right side. Somehow it gets up and over back to the Trojans, and the call goes against the Warriors in the net. So that point goes to the Trojans, 22 now to 15 in favor of Mount Olive. Jump serve comes. Martin now. And that one's off the ceiling. Point for the Trojans. Everything going Mount Olive's way here late in set 2. Martin to Sheets. Sheets just pops it over. Here come the Trojans. Close at the net, blocked back over by the Warriors. Bonins now to Sheets. He goes far side to Johnson. Johnson controlled there by the Trojans. Far side now on the attack. Dug out there by Sheets. Bonins goes back to Sheets. Sheets goes right hand up and over. Received by the Trojans. Bump back, and the third one's up and over. Here comes Sheets and the Warriors. That's Bass. Puts it down. Point Warriors. Holford out, Souls in. 23-16. Mount Olive with the lead. Set 2. Here's Souls with service. Middle set, middle attack comes. Sure looked like a double hit there, but no call, so point for Mount Olive. And they're within 1 of tying this match up at 1 apiece. Jackson with service, received back row by Souls. Sheets goes to Bass. It's blocked back over to Vonins. Sheets over to Johnson. Johnson's able to get it across, but so do the Trojans. Now far side again for Johnson, who rolls one up and over. Dug out there by the Trojans. Third one is popped over, and it's wide in front of the Warriors bench. Point Southern Wesleyan. Martin with service. Battle at the net, won by the Warriors and Johnson. Warriors now down 6. 24-18 here in set 2. Trojans our side on the attack and put it away. 25-18, so we're tied up 1-1. We'll head to set 3 here in 3 minutes. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal. Knows just how you like your tea, always has a refill ready, and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
When we travel, we expect to be uncomfortable. We long for the security and the comfort of home. But here at Best Western, we focus on providing you with the most ample accommodations imaginable. We want to be your home away from home. Your security and comfort when the road is long. We want to gather and build friendships and families, strengthen community, and sustain athleticism. Here, we celebrate fun, hard work, and enjoy the wonderful world around us. Here, we want your downtime to be just as amazing as your game time. And finally, when it's time to leave, we hope you'll want to stay.
Heading into set three, we're tied at 1-1 here in historic Tysinger. Matchup between the visiting Trojans of Mount Olive and your Warriors of Southern Wesleyan. We're ready to get set here with set three. Johnson to Sheets to Bass, floats long. And just like the first two sets, we're tied up at 1-1 in the same sequence each time. Holford out, Souls in. Dug out there by the Trojans, far side on the attack comes. Bumped up and over, dug out there by Holford, Vonins, and knocked over by Johnson. Here comes the Trojans. It's blocked by Bass, and the Warriors win the point. Service by Souls, received back row. Long run there by the Trojan setter. It's into the net, point, Warriors. Service by Souls, received right side, middle set, middle attack comes. Souls is there, Sheets knocks it over the left hand. Middle set, our side on the attack, blocked and controlled by the Warriors. Sheets comes our side to Johnson, right hand swing, blocked by the Trojans and down, point Mount Olive. Service received back row by Martin. Sheets to Bass, who's able to pop it over as she double clutches in midair. And the Warriors up 4-2. Stone in, Martin out. Amber Bass now ready for service. Bass, a freshman out of Chester, South Carolina. See back row, long run, far side on the attack. Blocked and down, Stone and Sheets, and the Warriors up 3. Service up and over, dug out back row. Deep attack comes from the Trojans, blocked by Stone. Down for Stone. 6-2, largest lead for the Warriors of the match. Short serve there by Bass. Third one is up and over. Here come the Warriors now. Sheets goes middle to Stone. Stone rolls it. And the third one's up and over. Souls, Sheets, our side to Johnson. Blocked back over. Vonins. Sheets pops it over the Trojans. Here come the Trojans far side now. Blocked back over to the Trojans. Battle at the net. Trojans pop it over. Bass is there. Sheets comes our side again to Johnson. She rolls it and down. Point Warriors. 7-5 7-2 Southern Wesleyan here in set 3. Bass goes deep this time, and they let that one go. And the corner judge calls a touch there. And this could be payback, as the Warriors thought that theirs was not a touch, and the line judge has touch here this time against Mount Olive. And after conversation this time, no touch for Mount Olive. (7-3) in favor of the Warriors. Service there to Vonins. And an error there against the Warriors. That gives the point to the Trojans. Jackson now knocks it over. That's Vonins to Sheets. She goes deep here to Souls. Touched deep by the Trojans this time. Point Southern Wesleyan. (8-4) now. Warriors lead here in set 3. We're tied 1-1. Olivia Johnson. Middle receive, middle set, far side on the attack. Controlled here by the Warriors. Our side now to Vonnin. She cuts it across. 23 now to 2. Popped over to Souls. Sheets. And that one is down for Stone. Stone is on fire here in historic Tysinger. 9-4, Warriors lead, set 3. Received back row by the Trojans, far side on the attack. Cuts it across. That's going to be point for the Trojans. Subs in for Mount Olive, that's 6-22. Subbing in for 21-12. And number 6, Yao now will be back for service for the Trojans at Mount Olive. Johnson, Sheets, knocks it over the left hand. Here come the Trojans now on the attack, far side. Dug out there by Johnson. Sheets comes our side this time to Vonnin. She rolls it to the corner. Trojans are there, far side now on the attack. Cut into the center and down, point for the Trojans. And that's Sargent, the freshman out of Hawaii, with the point for the Trojans. 9-6 in favor of the Warriors here in set 3. Johnson, the Sheets, to Stone. And that's going to be down, point for Stone and the Warriors. Holford in, Souls out for Southern Wesleyan. Good serve there and all the way back to the Warriors. Now a battle at the net. And it's going to be won by number 23 and the Trojans on Mount Olive. And now we've got a conversation with the up ref and the down ref. And I'm going to bet this one gets replayed. While we're waiting for the call here, shout out to my colleague at University of Mount Olive, Dr. Jeff Eisen, athletic director extraordinaire, listening all the way in Mount Olive. Still a conversation here. Warriors lead 10-6 in set 3, and we've got the replay, which I wonder how that would work in most any other sport. However, it's going to be the Warriors with service. That's going to be Darby Sheets with the Warriors up 4 at 10-6. Service received back row, middle set, middle attack comes. Knocked over to Sheets, off of her and down. Point for 23 and the Trojans. Johnson, Sheets, Holford down, point Warriors. Timing between setter and hitter has been much better this afternoon for the Warriors. Quicker tempo, and so far better results. Service up and over, received back row by the Trojans. Long run by the setter, far side on the attack. Dug out there by Sheets to Martin, back to Sheets. Sheets goes right hand up and over, received by the Trojans. Middle set, middle attack comes. Number 23 knocks it off the touch of the Warriors and down. Point, Mount Olive. Jump serve received by Martin. Sheets to Holford, pops it over the left corner. Trojans are there. Far side now on the attack, up and over. Dug out there by Sheets. Our side now on the attack by Vonens. Knocked over to the Trojans, and here they come now, middle with the attack. And that's down good for Mount Olive. That's into the net. Point back to the Warriors. (12-9) here in favor of Southern Wesleyan, set 3. Service is up and over, received back row. Far side now on the attack. Battle at the net, knocked back over to the Trojans. Here they come again, far side. Finds the right corner and down, point Trojans. Subs in for Mount Olive, 12 and 21 for 22 and 6. So it's going to be 21 here with service for Mount Olive. Madison Goodman, 5'4" freshman now with the jump serve. We had a whistle during service. Not sure we were ready to roll. Now we are. Left-handed attack there by Johnson. Far side now on the attack come the Trojans. Popped all the way back to the left corner, and it just floats long. Point Warriors. Middle attack comes for the Trojans. Dug out by Souls. Long arm by Sheets. Great effort. But point for the Trojans. Middle attack from Bass knocked over. Here come the Trojans now our side on the attack. Blocked by the Warriors, but out of play, so point for the Trojans. And the Trojans have pulled within one at 13-12. Jump serve, receive back row. Here come the Warriors, our side on the attack with Johnson. Knocked back over to Southern Wesleyan. Here comes Sheets, middle to Bass, and blocked off the Trojans. And out of play, Southern Wesleyan with the point. So the Warriors up 2. Stone re-enters. Deep one here by the Trojans, and that finds the right sideline. Point Trojans. Mount Olive within one again. We're tied 1-1 here in this Conference Carolinas matchup. That hits the tape, rolls over. Souls is there. Sheets far side to Johnson, blocked and down for the Trojans. And we're tied at 14. Short serve, Souls, Sheets, Stone, off of the block and down, point Warriors. Stone had to really slow herself down there. She, on the approach, was a little early, and then able to slow it down and convert for the point. Johnson with the service, she goes right side. Middle set now, far side on the attack. That one looked like it was just wide. Calls in. Point for the Trojans. We're tied at 15. Service up and over, received by Martin to Sheets. Johnson gets it over. Here come the Trojans. Middle attack. And the Trojans call for double hit. Point Warriors. Holford in, Souls out. Sheets now readies with service for your Warriors, who are up 1. Received back row by the Trojans. Middle set, far side on the attack. Blocked by the Warriors. Back to the Trojans. Middle attack comes. Sheets there this time. Stone knocks it over to Holford and finds it there. Beautiful job by Darby Sheets to keep it alive. And Holford puts it away. 17-15 in favor of the Warriors here in set 3. We're tied up 1-1 in the match. Remember, your Warriors will be back in action on Wednesday right here in historic Tysinger as they play host to the Bobcats of Lees-McRae College. First serve slated for 7 p.m. Remember, if you'd like to give to the Warriors, and in particular to your volleyball program, text to give to 71777. And then to give the women's volleyball, it's Warriors 20188. Warriors 20188. We're ready again here in set 3. Warriors up 2, 17-15. Services across, receive back row. Long run for the setter. Deep attack now for the Trojans. Martin to Sheets to Stone, who just pops it over. Here come the Trojans now. Far side on the attack. Rolled up and over the block, and nobody there for the Warriors. And the Warriors are in the net as well. Point Trojans. Service is up and over, received by Vonins into the net. So we're going to be tied at 17 here in set 3. That one sails long, so point back to the Warriors. Service up and over, receive back row. Our side set, our side attack, and 23 puts it away in front of the Warriors bench. And we're tied again at 18. 11 in for 23. With Mount Olive serving. Johnson to Sheets to Johnson. Blocked back over to the Warriors. Johnson goes deep this time. And this time it's going to be a Tysinger point. Point for the Warriors. (19-18) Warriors up. Moonball dug out there. Attacked by the Trojans. That one's going to float long. Point Warriors. That's going to be a timeout called by the Trojans, and Southern Wesleyan leads 20-18 here in set 3. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal. Knows just how you like your tea, always has a refill ready, and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Out of the timeout, Warriors lead 20-18. Here come the Trojans down middle attack. Blocked and down by Bass. And the Warriors take a 3-point lead. (21-18) here in set 3. Third one has got to get up and over from the Trojans. Does. Martin. Sheets goes middle of the Bass. Blocked. Holford knocks it over to the Trojans. Long run here and deep attack come from the Trojans and out in front of the Warriors bench. And Southern Wesleyan pushes it to a 4-point lead. Short serve received, middle attack, and that's going to be 4 touches against the Trojans. Point Warriors. Timeout called by Mount Olive. Warriors lead 23-18. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes that good times call for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Back to action here in historic Tysinger, 23-18 as the Warriors continue to serve. Back left corner, middle set, far side on the attack come the Trojans. Martin's able to dig that one out. Third one from Johnson, rolled up and over. Middle set, far side attack, popped over. Martin's there, but the Warriors are in the net. Point to the Trojans. (21-12) in for the Trojans, as Yao will come in for service, trailing by 4 here in set 3. Warriors have got to get it up and over. Vonins does. Deep here now for the Trojans. Middle set, far side on the attack. Straight down for number 5. That's Keene, the senior out of San Antonio, Texas. Put that one away, and the Trojans now within 3. Martin to Holford. Johnson rolls it off the tape and over. So the Warriors within 1 here. I've taken a 2-1 lead in this match. Service is up and over by Souls. Here come the Trojans now, middle attack. Blocked, and Vonins was there, but just couldn't get the hand up and under it. So that falls for the Trojans, and the Trojans back within 3. Great effort by Martin. Jump serve. Vonins, Sheets, our side to Johnson, blocking down, point for the Warriors, and that's set 3 in the books, 25-21, and your Warriors lead 2-1 here. We'll head to set 4 in moments. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
When we travel, we expect to be uncomfortable. We long for the security and the comfort of home. But here at Best Western, we focus on providing you with the most ample accommodations imaginable. We want to be your home away from home. Your security and comfort when the road is long. We want to gather and build friendships and families. Strength.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal, knows just how you like your tea, always has a refill ready, and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
The NCCA mission states, we are an association of Christ-centered collegiate institutions whose mission is to use athletic competition as an integral component of education, evangelism, and encouragement. The impact of the NCCAA has been felt for 50 years throughout the country.
set 4 begins with the Trojans now
trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend, one who believes that good times call for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
So timeout called. 21-20 as the Trojans lost a 6-point lead. The Warriors took the lead, and the Trojans then take it right back. 21-20. Timeouts called by the Warriors here. Southern Wesleyan leads 2-1 in the match. And trying to close it out here in 4. Should be back with audio as well as video. We apologize for the inconvenience. Something just got disconnected up here, and our fabulous SID was able to troubleshoot it. So out of the timeout, it's going to be the Trojans up 1, 21-20, right here in historic Tysinger. Trying to take us to set 5. Jump serve. Vonens to Sheets. And knocked over by Vonens. Here come the Trojans now, far side on the attack. And number 23 of the Trojans able to put it away. And a 2-point lead now for Mount Olive. Vonens, far side. Stone, dug out there by the Trojans. Battle at the net. Trojans now here, left side, dug out by Souls. And it's going to be down, point Trojans. (23-20). Deep serve there. Souls goes far side to Stone. She pops it down the left side, but it was on the inside of the pin, which means it's out of play. And now the Trojans 1 point away from extending the match into a 5th set. Vonens to Sheets to Johnson, and down, point Warriors. 24-21. Trojans now, far side on the attack and put away, and we're going to head to a 5th set. 25-21, Trojans win that one to even it up 2-2. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
When we travel, we expect to be uncomfortable. We long for the security and the comfort of home. But here at Best Western, we focus on providing you with the most ample accommodations imaginable. We want to be your home away from home. Your security and comfort when the road is long. We want to gather and build friendships and families, strengthen community, and sustain athleticism. Here, we celebrate fun, hard work, and enjoy the wonderful world around us. Here, we want your downtime to be just as amazing as your game time. And finally, when it's time to leave, we hope you'll want to stay.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend. One who believes the recipe for good times calls for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal. Knows just how you like your tea. always has a refill ready and welcomes every guest with their favorite food made to order. The kind of friend who is always up for trying something new and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Shout out to all you families out there who let us know that our audio had dropped. And graciously, you allowed us time to get it back up. Again, we apologize for the inconvenience. We're ready to go here in set 5 here in historic Tysinger. It's as loud as it's been all year here for Warrior Volleyball here in historic Tysinger. And we're ready to get going here. Tied 2-2 with the Trojans service. And that's going to be a point for the Trojans right out of the box. Service up and over to Vonens. Sheets goes back to Holford. Holford cuts it to the right side. Middle set, middle attack comes from the Trojans, and the Trojans jump out to a 2-0 lead. Service up and over, received by the Warriors. Here comes Johnson. It's blocked back into the Warriors. And everybody's okay. Point for the Trojans. 3-0 here in set 5. Service up and over, received by Martin to Vonens, to Johnson, blocked back over to the Warriors. Here comes Sheets, back to Johnson, right-hand swing, goes up and over the block. Deep attack comes, dug out there by Vonens. Sheets to Johnson again, right hand, dug out there by the Trojans. Far side on the attack now. Martin, Sheets, here to Johnson. She just goes to the right side, dug out there by the Trojans, knocked back to the Warriors. Third one can't get up and over from the Warriors, and that's going to be 4 touches against Southern Wesleyan. And a timeout called now by Coach Reiniger and the Warriors, who trail by 4 here in set 5.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong...
Out of the timeout called by the Warriors, it's the Trojans who lead 4-0 here in set number 5. Trojans will have service. It's number 22, the junior out of Finland now. Service is up and over to Vonins, to Sheets. Middle attack by Bass. Knocked back over to Bass, to Vonins, to Johnson. Goes right-handed off of the Trojans. Point Warriors. 4-1 now. In favor of the Trojans was Souls with service, and the Trojans called for a rotation issue. So 2 quick points there for the Warriors. Service up and over, see back row, battle at the net. Point for the Warriors. The infraction was against the Trojans. 4-3 now. Southern Wesleyan trying to scrape back here. Third one up and over. Vonins, Sheets, she's coming this side to Johnson with the right hand and blocked by the Trojans. And that was going to get up and over for Southern Wesleyan. Far side on the attack, and that one's down, point Trojans. (5-3) now in favor of the visiting UMO Trojans. Jump serve by the Trojans. That one's long. Point back to the Warriors. 5-4 now with the Trojans leading here in set 5 in this Conference Carolinas matchup. Amber Bass now readies with service. She goes down the right side, and that one just foul. It squirted off her hand to the right side, so point right back to the Trojans. 6-4. Quick serve here to Vonins, to Sheets, to Stone, right in the middle, and down point for Stone and your Warriors. It's going to be Olivia Johnson now readying for service. Dugout back row, far side on the attack comes. Dug out by Martin, and that's going to be a point for the Trojans as it hits the ceiling and bounces across the net. So point for the Trojans that time. Now back to a 2-point lead at 7-5. Yao back in for service. Well, my apologies, that's 21. Madison Goodman, the freshman, in for service. Jump serves, dug out back row. Sheets to Johnson, blocked back over. Johnson to Sheets to Stone. Stone pushes it to the left side, and that error is going to give the point to the Warriors. And the Warriors within 1. Holford in for Souls here, middle of set 5 action. Dugout back row, our side on the attack. And that's going to be 4 touches against the Warriors. 8-6, and we're going to switch sides here in the middle of set 5. Remember, your Warriors will be back in action as they head to Lees-McRae. The Bobcats will be hosting the Warriors in Banner Elk, North Carolina. First serve at 7 o'clock. So it'll be 8-6 when we get back to action here in set 5. Service will be continued by the Mount Olive Trojans, number 14, the freshman out of Hawaii. We just check the lineups again here. 8-6, set 5. Tied 2-2 here in historic Tysinger. Jump serves up and over to Johnson. Long run for Sheets. She goes back to Johnson. Johnson just rolls it over. Here come the Trojans. Middle set, middle attack. Dug out there by Sheets to Martin. Martin back to Johnson. Blocked and back to the Warriors. This side now to Holford, who cuts it across. Middle set, our side attack by the Trojans. Battle for it is controlled by the Warriors. Third one has to get up and over, and not enough power. 4 touches against the Warriors, so the point. And the lead now increased to 3 for the Trojans. Jump serve to Johnson, to Sheets, to Holford. Dug out there by the Trojans. Third one's got to get up and over, and it does. Here come the Warriors now. Sheets, middle to Stone, pushes it across. Here come the Trojans now. Middle set, our side attack. And that one just gets inside the pin and rolls off the Warriors into the floor. Point Trojans. Timeout called by the Warriors. Trojans lead 10-6. Set 5. You're listening to Warrior Volleyball on the SWU Sports Network.
A trip to McAllister's is like visiting a lifelong friend, one who believes that good times call for heartfelt conversation over a handcrafted meal, and who you can count on for that familiar feeling of home. McAllister's Deli. Great food brings us together.
Out of the timeout and back here in historic Tysinger, it's the Trojans from the University of Mount Olive up 10-6 here in set 5. Vonens, Sheets pops it over. Here come the Trojans now. Middle set, far side on the attack. Blocked, but out of play, so point for the Trojans. (11-6), 5-point lead here in set 5 for the visiting Trojans. Just long, point to the Warriors. Bass in, Stone out, Martin for service. Warriors down 4 here in set 5. Service up and over, receive back row. Middle set, middle attack comes. Dug out by Martin. To Bass, to Vonens, rolls it up and over. Here comes the Trojans, our side. Knocked up and over to Sheets, knocked back by Bass. Here come the Trojans again. Third one, our side. Cut across and out of play in front of the Warriors bench. Southern Wesleyan back within 3. 11-8 here in set 5. Jump serve by Martin. Dug out back row. Middle set, far side attack. Dug out by Johnson. And that's not able to be picked up there by the Warriors. So the point to the Trojans. 12-8. Jump serve received by Martin. Sheets, Holford, blocked. Back over to the Warriors, and Johnson pops it over. Here come the Trojans again. Our side on the attack. Martin on the long run's able to get there. Johnson, it's at the net, and the battle won by the Trojans, 13-8. Service into the net, point Warriors. short serve there. Pop back over to the Warriors. This side to Holford. Set slightly behind her. Holford had to reach back for it into the net. Point Trojans. 14-9 here. Match point ready for the Trojans. Bonins, Sheets, far side to Johnson. She goes left hand this time. Middle set, our side on the attack. Block back over. And the setter not able to get up and underneath that, and it falls to the floor. Point for the Warriors. 14-10 here. The Souls in for Holford. Receive back row. Far side set, middle attack, and that's going to do it. That's the ball game. And the Trojans pull it off in 5, 15-10 here in set 5. Remember, your Warriors will be back in action right here in historic Tysinger on Wednesday night as they play host to the Bobcats of Lees-McRae. 7 o'clock first serve. You've been listening to Warrior Volleyball on the Swoosh Sports Network.